flowers being the idea or like the main modem of communicating this particular art form.
They are carrying memories. Like for example, I have seen my mom putting gajra on her head, and like now I use mogra a lot in my decor as well. We went to Shikara and got the flowers from the local species because that's how they have grown up. They have been going to these boat rides, looking at the flowers. It's just like how we are bringing the nostalgia and how we are bringing the design all together and making something out of it. Well, how you take the flowers home, but you have to cut it in a certain way to dip it into water and they grow for like a week or something like that. So that is something people are not aware of.
And it generally raises questions around, sustainability and waste. How do you navigate these concerns in the work that you do?
The use of oasis, the foam, that is something which is not good for the environment. But I'm trying to make a shift, by using this ikebana, which is like a Japanese form of flower arrangement. People are doing this tie and dye with flowers. I'm recently in touch with a person who actually does all of that.
Do you see the relationship that the Indian culture has with flowers different from other cultures and how they use flowers?
Right now, I'm really amazed by the people from Bali who do these khajur patti. They have this art form where they create structures out of leaves. I'm trying to bring that thing in India also because we have a variety of leaves and flowers. We can really transform them into any art pieces. So, I'm not done with India yet, but yeah, I definitely want to explore foreign countries and how they are working with all of these flowers and all of that.
Welcome back to the EKV podcast, where we explore conscious living through culture, values, and creativity. I'm your host, Nivi Murthy, and today we're joined by Sakshi Gupta, the creative soul behind The Girl with Ideas, a wedding design and styling house known for its poetic and deeply personal celebrations. At her heart, Sakshi is a storyteller. Her work is shaped by the quiet beauty of everyday life, family, travel, flowers, and fleeting moments that often pass us by. With a rare blend of artistic intuition and thoughtful precision, she brings to life places that feel timeless and full of emotion. In this conversation, we talk about her creative journey and how flowers play such a profound role in her life and creative process, not just as decoration, but as a medium of memory, identity, nostalgia, and cultural storytelling. We explore how she translates feeling into form, the intuitive and aesthetic decisions that shape her work, and the emotional and sensory worlds she builds through her design. While Sakshi's work often graces weddings, this conversation with Sakshi talks about how florals connect us with ourselves, with the world around us, and through culture. We also touch upon sustainability in the flower industry and how creating something so fleeting can leave such a long-lasting impact. I hope this conversation invites you to see flowers and their stories a little differently. So thank you so much, Sakshi, for joining us today. I'm very excited to have you on our podcast. I've spoken to many artists, but never an artist that works with flowers. So I'm excited to hear about your journey. So I'd like to go back right to the beginning, and I think it will give us a lot more context to where you've come from. So if you can tell us a little bit from the beginning, how did your journey as an artist begin, and what drew you to working with flowers?
Okay, honestly, flowers have been part of my life since childhood. I used to love making little garlands for my mom. She used to do pujas, and I'm going to the park, getting the flowers, sewing them into little garlands, and she used to offer them to the gods and all of that. And then honestly, everything around me is actually in a way linked to my mom. I'll be honest with you about that. She was an artist, she was a Tanjore painting artist. She was a Kathak dancer. She was a tabla player. So, my whole childhood was around, these artists, her paintings, this and that. So everything, whatever I'm doing in my life right now, it's all because of my childhood and my nostalgia with things around me and also my mom. I remember I used to go to weddings, when I was a kid, I used to go to weddings and I like we used to see all these jalbaras or like these very very normal flowers, marigolds, and I used to bring them home and style my home with all of that. So I think that's the whole way I have like this fond of flowers started, and like and also celebrations. Like I know I was that kid when I was like roaming in streets and there was this birthday party happening. I wanted to be part of it because I wanted to see how they have done balloons, how they have done ribbons around the house and all of that. So since childhood, it was always been like, I want to get involved in some creativity around me. It can be a birthday party, how the weddings are happening, or how my mom is decorating house on Diwali with bringing flowers, this, that. So that's the whole idea behind my page also right now, that my mom was always quick with ideas. Like, whenever she's like, inviting our family over for dinner, she used to decorate her house with knickknacks around in the house and like just make something out of it. So that's the whole idea right now with my thing as well, that the girl with ideas is all about like just bringing ideas on the table where we can just like it can be flowers, it can be like a sukha mirchi, or you can say it can be coconuts, it can be leaves. So everything around me, I just try to make it as a decor, like like
Yeah.
because we are living with it, we have grown up looking at things like that. So that's the whole idea.
Did you study art in any way?
Honestly, I have not studied art. I am a
Hmm.
2D and 3D designer. Like I have studied graphic design, which is really helping me in my like work field, because having a good sense of fonts, colors, this that, which really helps you in your business. And I have studied 3Ds also, so 3D helps me like just giving my clients a vision that okay, what you are signing for, what we can bring like in terms of giving them a visualizations of spaces, this and that. So 3D, 2D and 3Ds have always been like a constant practice which I have been doing with my like with my flowers and all, so which is really helping me out. Yes.
Yeah. So, how did you decide on flowers being the idea or like the main, uh, modem of communicating this particular art form? Is it something that just happened and evolved over time, or is it something that you consciously have picked? Of course, you have had, past with flowers, and it's been really an integral part of your childhood as well. But in the work that you're currently doing, has it been a conscious choice for you?
Honestly, I just feel flowers are not just pretty things. They have like, a meaning behind it. Like they carry a meaning. They remind me of rituals, like of home, a memory or something like that. Like, for example, I have been looking at marigolds since my childhood, and like, and all the typical weddings, like people are like we don't want to go over marigolds because they are like too done, but I just feel that is something which is connected, like since the weddings we are attending and the weddings we are going on right now, I just want what the idea behind it is, like I just really want to put my art into it, like it should not be just a flower arrangement, it should be an artsy thing, like so when I'm designing a wedding, it's not about just the visuals, it's about like how a memory can be folded, like for example a couple story. I just like I quickly tell you about a story. One of my brides, she was really into like sarson ka khet, that DDLJ vibe, Raj and Simran and all of that, and she wanted to like get married in the middle of a sarson ka khet. So it was a COVID times, and I was like and they have to get married, that like they have no other option. So I was like, okay, let me turn your terrace into a sarson ka khet. I went to a sarson ka khet. I told the farmer that I want half of this sarson, and like let's just bring all this and like just take it out, like take it on their terrace. And I just made her sit on the center of it and like get the henna done. Obviously, the wedding was not happening at that time, but yeah, like in a way, I just made her dream come true by just putting like those sarson around her. And like I still remember, like she is the most like happy bride at that point of time, like looking at that, and she's like, what have you done, Sakshi? This is like a dream for me, what you have done, like how you have made it for me.
Created.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so that's the whole idea. Like it's just not a pretty things, it's just like they are carrying a lot of dreams of a lot of people, they are carrying memories. Like for example, I have seen my mom like putting gajra on her head, and like now I use mogra a lot in my decor as well, because it's not just flower, it's like how we have seen our nannies, dadis, mamas using gajra, and like, now I'm just trying to make it like something out of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I do feel like there is that connection to flowers. It's something that we don't, sometimes as artists, we don't really see that as being, I mean, as a, like, say, as a bride, for example, let's just talk about weddings, right? Because that's
Yeah.
a large part of the work
Yeah.
that you do.
Yeah.
As a bride, you don't necessarily see that connect consciously, but like it kind of brings it all together, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what flowers also do, bring the whole event together and bring out like an emotion and bring out that feeling. How
Yeah.
do you work with brides, particularly, or bride and groom, for their events, and how do you kind of what is the process like? Is it kind of you wanting to tell their story? Do they have an intention in terms of what story they want to create or what story they want to tell through their decor and through their flowers?
Yeah. So, okay, to on that, like, for example, every couple has their own story, like, and like we love using flowers to express that. Like, it can be a scent that reminds, like, the scent which reminds the bride of the first meeting they had with the, like, with her fiance or something like that, or maybe a color that really means something to them. Like, for example, I'm designing a Jodhpur wedding right now, and
Mm-hmm.
it got a blue city there, and like, so they met there, like, they met in Jodhpur in the streets of those blue cities. So I am, like, planning their decor with like blue color as an main thing, and like, things around it, the flowers around it. So it's all about that. And also, like, it's really about making something which feels honest and beautiful. It's not about, like, we are not people who do big structures, this and that. It's just like, how we can bring on these small sweet elements which really connects them, the couple, and also they can see on their special day, they can just see these things around them. So that's the whole point. For example, we actually designed a wedding in Kashmir, and like, how we bought, like, we went to Shikara and got the flowers from the local species, because that's how they have grown up. Like, they have been going to these boat rides, looking at the flowers, this, that. So it's just like how we are bringing the nostalgia, and like, how we are bringing the design all together and making something out of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, do people really have an idea as to do they try to communicate a story with you and tell you an emotion that they want to create, or are they sure of it from an aesthetic point of view, like these are the colors we want, or do they understand? What I'm trying to get at is, do they also understand the deeper meaning that flowers have, other than it just being an aesthetic addition to an environment?
To a lot of people, yes. Like, there are a lot of people who have a fair idea what they are doing, and like, what we are also bringing to the table, sort of thing. But like, for example, I really want to give you a like little insight of a process. Like, for example, when a couple sign up, like, as a wedding planner or a designer, we send them a questionnaire, which is like, we want to know you better. Like, what, like, where your first date was, what are you wearing, what are your like, what is the venue like. For example, we wanted to understand the venue, because our whole idea is to not overdo things at the venue, and just like, beautify the space with our elements around it. And also, like, how the gathering is like, and like, how many youngsters are there. For example, we recently did a nani ghar, where like, the most of the guests were like very old aged, and like, we really wanted to give them a taste of nostalgia, like, that okay, that this bride, like, there were generations there. Like, the nanny was
Yeah.
there, her mother was there, she was there, and the friends was there. So like, how she has grown up in that house, how what all has been things around her, and all of that. So that's the whole idea. Like, we try to know our clients better to design something for them. Like, it can be anything. Like, for example, even if they have went to a cafe together, or like, any city or any destination they have been to together, and it's taking up, like, some bits and pieces of that. Like, for example, our client is like really into Italy, like, and we just brought a lot of like, we created Italian night for them, which is like a lot of hydrangeas, a lot of candles, this and that. So it's all about that how we are bringing their memories and turning them into a decor. So that's the whole
Yeah,
idea behind it. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Can you tell us a little bit more about the work that you do? I mean, we've spoken about weddings, but I'd love to hear from you. What kind of spans the work that you do?
Honestly, it can be anything which relates to design. I'm not fixated on just weddings. Like recently, we have started doing styling. Like we have worked with Tarani, for example. We were collaborating with them to do a set design, and it's just like they have given a blank canvas. Okay, this is the venue like, and you have to add your elements to this space, the flowers to this space, and I really enjoyed it, honestly. Like that is something which I have tried it for the first time, but now I am also trying to how to go little more beyond that. I am also coming up with like service which is like I want to make customized flower arrangements for these birthday parties, or like sorry, for the birthday gifts, or like you can say any other gifting sort of thing. So we are working on those things, on those lines, where we can just bring the most to the world. Like I really don't want it to be very cliche flowers, like people are just sending a flower arrangement to someone. It should have a meaning.
Yeah.
It should have like their favorite color to it, or you can say an emotion to it. Like for example, pink shows the soft side of a person, and like how that person like that, like every flower, like how we celebrate these Valentine week. Like for example, the pink rose means care, the red rose means love, yellow rose means friendship. So I just wanted to like create something which is emotions also. We are not just selling a flower. It's all about giving them a memory, or like an emotion, and like something which is personal to them. So that's the
Yeah.
whole idea behind it. I'm exploring, like honestly, the Girl with Ideas is not just having fixated on just weddings or like styling and this and that. We are also exploring day by day what new we can bring to the world, and how we can make changes, like how we can make it more like I really want to start a flower school. Like that is a dream. Like because some people are not looking at flowers as a occupation, like that they want to go for this. But I really want girls to like just want to say up, like that flowers have changed my life, and it can change a lot of lives. So really want to like start my own flower school, do workshops, tell people about what I do. Like I love visiting flower markets, for example. On every wedding, I know it's too tiring though, but I go to flower market on myself. Like by
Oh
myself, I
my
go
God.
there, I pick the flowers, I talk to these farmers, because every time I go, I found something new. Like okay,
Yeah.
this is coming from Kolkata, this is coming from Bangalore, this is coming from this different city, Madras. Like there are like small water lilies in the flower market right now, which is never I've never seen them like as a flower. Like people are selling those, but it's just like the more you see, the more you explore, and the more you learn, and the more you execute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all about that.
That's so nice. Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite flower, and does that have
This is the most
do
difficult question. If anyone asks me, like, what's your favorite flower? I don't have one, honestly. It's like I'm always obsessed with them. But yeah, I really do love Nargis. Like, they don't stay much. Like, honestly, they can't be part of weddings because they die too easily. But they just hold a lot of, like, it's a beautiful flower. The scent is amazing. And like, it just like, it brings back, like, I have seen, like, I've seen, we call them daffodils. Like, I remember when I was kid, I used to learn flowers in those textbooks, right? It's like, there are flips, you flip the book, and you see flower names with flowers. So I've always like, how can I see this daffodil? Like where I can see this daffodil. Is it a international flower? I can't find it locally or whatever. But I saw it one day and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. So yeah,
yeah.
Nuggets is something which really, really, I'm obsessed with. But yeah, I love everything. Like it's just like, I'm finding my favorite kid. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that. Like you're asking
Yeah.
me that who, in between all these flowers, who's your favorite kid? It's like that.
Yeah, but I had to. Like, it's a question that I was like, this I have to ask just to know what she has
No,
to
no,
say about
no. I agree, but like it's just difficult. Like for example, right now I'm really obsessed with peonies. I recently saw them in the market, and I came back home with them, and they were really beautiful. And like everything, I can like give you 100 names right now that I love this, I love
Yeah.
that, I love this, I love that. But yeah, like for example, with flowers also, I love greens. Like that is something I really want to add on. Only flowers doesn't show the art. There are greens who are like more interesting. For example, there is this fiddlehead. I'll share the picture with you later on. I'm sure you don't know
Yeah.
about it, but it's a very interesting flower, interesting leaf, which we find in like Uttarakhand, and I have started using them as a decor. I go to these trips, and like, what I do here, there is like, I know, like, since childhood, we have a habit of not plucking the flowers and all. But
Yeah.
I have like in my whole book where I find different variety of different things
Oh,
gathered together, and like, how I can make them as a part of something. Like, how can I
oh,
turn them
that's
into
so
something?
cool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So like your own little like directory of where what is
Yeah.
available and how you can source it
Exactly.
and things. That's so
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
So how do you pick what goes for what? Like, of course, I understand. Like, you go to the market and you see what's available and what could be applicable, say in terms of color, in terms of whatever the story is. But like in terms of placement, like what is the process like of picking the right flowers for what placement, for what arrangement? Like it feels like such an overwhelming, confusing concept. What is your creative process like when you are designing a space?
So honestly, when we design a space, we have a color palette in our head. Like, when I go to market, like I am like, I only see things which are like, for example, I am designing a wedding, which is red, pinks and greens. So when I go
Yeah.
to market, my head is fixated with like that. Okay, I have to only pick these colors and
Yeah.
things around it. Like I'm not like for example, a lot of clients really wants like a flower list from me, and I'm like, please let me do me, and I'll come back with something great here, like because
Yeah.
it's all about like what I can see new. For example, I remember there was at this time people have not used gehu, like the wheat sticks as a decor, like
Wow.
yeah. And I went to the market, and like that was a very rustic Lodi night sort of event, and I picked those like for example those bhuttas, like the corn, and
Yeah.
I just like combined them with my colors and this that, and it looked amazing. So like
Yeah.
the whole idea is that, for example, if I'm designing an event, what it's like, for if like it's a Sangeet night, it's a, for example, Punjabi, like, they are loud, they're like, they are colorful. So I really try to make everything around them, which is very fulkari, very colorful, very blingy a little. So that's the whole idea behind it. And like, for example, there's this couple who really wanted their wedding to be very, very peaceful. We did this wedding in Rishikesh. So we were not fixated on anything else. Let's just make it white and green. Like, that's the whole idea behind it, that there is Ganga near the property, like, right behind the backdrop of the couple. And we don't want to add anything else. Like, I think the Ganga is speaking more itself. So we just brought some nice mogra, which are smelling good, some nice, Rajnigandas, for example, they smell really good, and just combine them and make something out of it. So it's all about the place, the like and also the story and all of that, which helped me pick these flowers and like make something out of that.
Thank you for listening to the IKIVI podcast. If you're enjoying our episodes, consider supporting us by visiting www.ikivi.com. That's IKKIVI.com. Since 2015, IKIVI has been thoughtfully curating modern fashion infused with Indian heritage, bringing you hand-picked pieces that blend tradition with contemporary elegance. Our passionate venture celebrates the vibrancy of contemporary design while preserving India's rich craftsmanship, creating stunning and ethical silhouettes you'll love. Our podcast is another passion project driven by our dedication to sharing meaningful stories. It is self-funded and will always be free to listen to. Your support means the world to us. Thank you for being here. Now let's get back to the episode. Yeah, how nice.
Yeah.
I got married 10 years ago, and I
Yeah.
wish I was I got married sometime now, because I feel like I got married in Sri Lanka, and I feel like there was so much more I could have
Yeah.
done or thought
Yeah.
about, but I was so young and I didn't really know too much about what
Yeah.
I wanted in terms of flowers, really. So I didn't
Yeah.
have too much of a say in what I want, but there was so much more I could have done now that I'm having this conversation with you.
No, but definitely we are celebrating your anniversary then. Like, please call me
So
for
why
that.
not?
Yeah.
So I have a question about the cut flower industry. It's something that we've heard about and we've spoken about. I mean, we've seen a lot of people writing about it as well. And it generally raises questions around, sustainability and waste and all of that. How do you kind of perceive that, and how do you navigate, these concerns in the work that you do?
Okay, so there are two, three things which are really responsible for all of this. Like, first is the use of oasis, the foam. Like, that is something which is not a very good thing to be used. It's not good for the environment. But I'm trying to make a shift, like, by using this ikebana, which is like a Japanese form of flower arrangements. How they have these, like, this thing, like a circle with pins on it. And, like, you can just use the flowers to tuck them and all of that. So that is something which we are opting for. But honestly, it's not like, it's not something which can be done on a big level, because, these
Yeah.
big weddings, they require a lot of big flower arrangements, this and that. But now we are in touch with a lot of, for example, these brands who are recycling these flowers. So we are in touch with them, and we like, reaching out to them that how they can use the flowers after the wedding to create something, like maybe it can be an
Yeah.
agarbatti, or maybe it can be a soap, or you can say, like, people are doing this tie and dye with flowers, like, the fabric. I'm recently in touch with a person who actually does all of that, and we are trying to understand the possibility of making it forward, like, how they can use these flowers to make a fabric out of it, or, like, how they can use these flowers to create those patterns and design on that fabric. So, like, every day, like, we are learning something new about it, and we are
Yeah.
trying to opt for it. But yeah, definitely, like, we it's a big thing, like. But, like, for example, us also, we are not, that's the reason we don't go crazy with our flowers as well. There is a amount which we sign up for, that okay, we are doing long tables, we are doing round tables, we are doing your backdrops, this and that. But we are not overly filling the area with everything, because at the end of it, it's just a waste. And if it's not being reused or anything like that, then it's a problem. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we
I,
are taking these small shifts and, like, working on it.
yeah. I wonder what kind of generally happens post the event, right? Like, I would love if there was a way where, like, you can at least share the joy of that particular arrangement or that particular flower or whatever else with somebody else, so that they can kind of enjoy it for a longer period of time, like sit in somebody's home, or if there's some kind of an easier system, like, you don't think of it as a guest or as a host of
Yeah,
events. You don't
yeah,
really think that you can do something more with these. Like, there's always a bunch of us that will take flowers back from
yeah,
whatever we see,
yeah,
right? Like, because
yeah, 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 yeah.
we understand some aspects of it, but there are a lot of people that don't really understand it. But I'm wondering if there's a way for us to have a system where there's an event, and then you can send it off to your friends, or, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, have you ever
No, no,
thought
we
of?
have done that. Honestly, like, it's just like, we have informed our guests, like, through planners, or, like, put up a board or something, like, take these away, or, like, something like that in a cute way. And people
Yeah.
have done that. Like, I have seen my tables with no flowers at the end of it. Like, people have taken the whole vase. I was like, okay, that vase is not mine, but okay, you can take it away. So I
Yeah.
have seen people taking it away, cherishing them, and, like, putting them in their houses. Obviously, when it's destination weddings, the guest can't
Yeah.
use that way. But yeah, I've always been up to the hotel, like, please decorate your hotel with it, like, or something
Yeah.
like that. So,
Yeah.
like, it's just happening, like, I think slowly we are building that way, that how we
Awareness.
can, yeah,
Yeah.
awareness, that how we can reuse them or create something out of them. Like, I have seen a lot of people, they are going crazy, like, they're preserving their jayamalas, they're preserving their like, their anything which is, like, happening in their wedding. Even us, like, at the end of the wedding, we actually send them a memory box, which, like, we send them
Yeah.
few flowers, like, their photo of, like, the best photo of the wedding, like, something like that,
Yeah.
something like that. The cushion covers, for example, you see that Almira at the back, we have all the samples there, so we just, like, club all of these together and send them as a memory box. So, like, yeah, definitely, like, the guest can also take away a lot of things, like the flowers, this and that, and take it as a memory of that event. But yeah, like, eventually it's just like, people should, like, now I just feel like I also give flowers to a lot of people. Like, my whole building is like, there are a lot of people who love flowers. I bring a lot of flowers home and I just send them here and there. I'm like,
Yeah.
please take it. But it's like, a basic learning how to keep them alive and how to preserve them and how to, that is something I'm working on, that how maybe I can make a note or make a diary or make a something like that. Okay, these are few tips and tricks to take care of this. Like,
Yeah.
for example, how you take the flowers home, but you have to cut it in a certain way to dip it into water, and they like, they grow they keep grow for like a week or something like that. So that is something people are not aware of. So I'm working on that, how, like, how if someone is actually using their flowers at home, how we can give them a little tips and tricks to work with these flowers and, like,
Do you
style
have
their
any
home with them.
Do you have any tips for us now that you can share with us?
Honestly, it's like, how you cut the flowers. Like, honestly, when you are dipping them in a water, you don't have to cut them straight. You have to cut them diagonally so the water can go up. So that is the first trick. Like, you can't just cut the flowers and just put them in a vase. You have to take one leaf, like, remove the dead leaves out of that flower, cut them diagonally and just put it in the water. So that's how it will grow for a week or so. So that is the one thing. And obviously, like, the change of water, like, it's really important that every second day you are changing the water of the vase so that the flowers is, like, growing newly. It's not and also the water, like, it's not
Yeah,
safe to
fresh
have.
water.
Yeah, fresh water is something which you should be aware of. And also, yeah, like, flower arrangements, creating like club them together. Like, honestly, it's you do, like, for example, I send them a lot of flowers. Like, for example, there are a lot of flowers I'm sending, but they don't know. They just club them together and just put them in a vase. Maybe you segregate them, like,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
color wise, or you say like variety wise or something like that, and just you make them a different vase. You don't have to club them together and just put it in one vase. You can definitely do something more of it. Add more greens from your garden to those
Yeah.
flowers and just make something out of that. So that's the whole idea.
Yeah. Nice. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in India, like flowers, we've always had it play such an integral part in our everyday lives. I feel like we've seen it in rituals, in celebrations, like even acts of like, devotion, even in mourning. Like there's flowers used for everything in our culture, I feel. Do you
Yeah.
see that happening similarly in other cultures internationally as well? And if you do see that, do you see the relationship that the Indian culture has with flowers different from other cultures and how they use flowers?
See, honestly, right now I'm like, I'm really amazed by the people from Bali who do these khajur patti thing. Like, they have this art form where they create structures out of, like, those banana leaves and khajur
Yeah,
pattis
yeah,
and all
yeah.
of that. So yeah, like, I really love that. Like, honestly, I'm trying to bring that thing in India also, that how we can work on, because we have a variety of leaves and flowers, like, we can really transform them into any art pieces. I'm actually like opting for these ideas also, how we can create these flowers into an installation, for example, because I have seen, like, Bali doing that. Like, they have these places where their mandirs are, like, they have these arches with the like those leaves, and they have these flags which are made out of flowers and this and that. So that is something which really amazed me. But honestly, like, I am also, like, on the verge of exploring more. I have not traveled much, but like, I'm starting doing that. Like, I have learned a lot about Sri Lanka, for example. Sri Lanka got amazing flowers. So I am learning about all of that and understanding that how to work on these, because I'm not still, like, done with India. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
I just went to Darjeeling, for example, and I just plucked the tea leaves. I was like, it's
Yeah.
Darjeeling, I have to use tea leaves here, and just like
Yeah.
created like a tea garden party there, like, very Indian elements, this and that. So, like, I'm not done with India yet, but yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely want to explore foreign countries and how they are working with all of these flowers and all of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so much that we have here in India. It's like, I think it can be a
Exactly.
whole lifetime and more worthy of exploration.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, now
But
I go to South, for example, now I go to South, and like, I have to design everything with South Indian flowers. I did a wedding in Bangalore recently, and it was a South Indian wedding. and they just wanted like, something basic like lotuses, mogra's, this, that. So there's a lot which I can do with those only. So I'm not going beyond that. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can create something out of these. So that's the
Yeah.
whole idea. Yeah.
Not just with like, the availability of flowers and the usage of flowers and plants and all of that, but I'm saying more from a point of view of the relationship that people have with flowers. For example, like how, like I said, like in India we have it like used in rituals on a daily basis as well, apart from events and things like that. Do you see that also being something that people talk a lot about, like, or is it just like kind of, towards the Indian culture where we use so much? I'm just talking from a very naive, unaware point of view, but like, do you feel like there are other cultures that use a lot of flowers as well on a day-to-day basis?
I think people use flowers for worship, like worshiping God, and like
Worshipping, yeah.
yeah. That is something which is constant, like which I have seen. Like for
Yeah.
example, if it's a even if it's like for example, if it's a Catholic wedding, like they still do these flowers that way. Like they create small. Like that bride bouquet, for example, like
Yeah.
that is something
Yeah.
which is very constant. That how they do bride bouquets with flowers, and
Yeah.
like for example there are garlands. It's not just in India that they exchange garlands to do that. There are other countries who are doing that the same thing as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the flowers really connect the cultures and that all of that together. But I have seen like I'm just like speaking my truth, like I'm exploring more, like I
Yeah.
recently got back to my work that way, so
Yeah.
I'm understanding that the possibilities of doing those things together and something like that. For example, I have seen in funerals and like in outer countries they actually like offer that bouquet, and like that we have seen
Yeah.
like they just place it there, like something which they like or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a part of everyone's life. It's not just in
Yeah.
there, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I really, really like the idea of how you kind of use local flowers to communicate a story, and how that's such an integral part of the work that you do. So, to
Yeah.
end our conversation, if you don't have anything else to add on, my question is about a particular project or a piece where flowers became a medium for telling a profound story.
I have a lot of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll tell you recently about this one project which I've done and people really loved it, which is Naningar, and I want to give you a little little insight of it. So they told me about how they her nani used to make mirchi ka achar, or you can say the dried oranges, like orange candies, or say wheat, like how they have wheat sticks, like this. These are the things which they have seen in childhood, like the wheat sticks, or you can say the sarson ka khet, or mirchi, or oranges, this and that. So our whole idea was to bring everything together and just make the whole house filled with all of these elements here and there. So that's the whole idea behind it, and how we use that whole space. That, for example, we actually created like a pathway, which was like there was sarson khet on both the sides, and they are walking in the middle of it, and they're entering the house, and then the venue starts, then the whole party starts, and we hung a lot of mirchis, oranges, this and that on trees with a lot of candles. So that's the whole how they were holding the memory of those mirchi ka chand. You remember when we were childhood, our nani used to have those carts with those mirchis lying on that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she used to dry them off and create something out of it. So so that was the idea. And how we use small birds, like those terracotta birds here and there, because we have seen a lot of birds in our childhood in that
Yeah.
way. Recently, we use matchboxes, we are trying to make matchboxes, something like that. So it's not just flowers we are adding, there are a lot of
Yeah.
cute other stuff with it
Elements.
to
Yeah.
give it more meaning. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
to give it more meaning. But yeah, this is something which we have done recently and people really liked it. That it's just the local elements. It costs nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
If I go to a sarson ka khet and ask the guy, please aap mujhe ye aadha de do, he'll give me okay, 1500 2000 mein aap le jaiye, if I'll be nice to him, or obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like that just holds a lot of memory and that hold a lot of meaning behind it. So that's the whole
Yeah.
idea. I tell my clients it's not about that we go for exotic flowers and we just
Yeah.
bring something which is very expensive, this and that. It should have like, it can be done in a very smart and elegant way that it holds a memory or it holds a
Yeah.
like something to like look at it and just remembering, okay, this was something which we really feel connected with. So that's the whole idea.
Love that. Love it. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you'd like to share with our audience in terms of, what your plans are for the work that you're doing for the future? What is your kind of aspirations and goals with the
So
brand?
honestly, So honestly, like we are coming up with something which is called Love X Art. We are actually trying to make our couple understand that it's not just wedding design. It's just like how we are clubbing it together, how we are converting your love stories into art. So that's the whole idea behind it. That it's not just going to be flower arrangements, this and that. We want to understand your stories, create something out of it. Maybe it can be just a tablescape, like, maybe it can be just a tablescape for 50 people. And it just speaks about you when you're sitting around your family and friends. They're just like, understanding your story through those small decor or something like that. Remembering that, I also want to add that one more wedding of mine. So I was telling you about my Rishikesh wedding. So their first dinner was actually an intimate dinner. It was for around 50, 60 people. So we did a sit down dinner for them. And it was near Ganga, as I said. So we actually called those tables river and mountain. So there were two tables and we did like, those coconuts, those mogras, those terracottas. So like, which is when you are in Rishikesh, you are around the Ganga, you want to feel peaceful. So that's the whole idea behind that. Ki like, okay, let's make something which people will like, will feel like, okay, it's pretty, it's nice,
Yeah.
it's like it's soothing. So that goes. We use Rudrakshmala, for example. Rishikesh is all about Shiv Parvati, for example. So we really wanted to give a touch of that to that table. So we use Rudrakshmalas, or you can say coconuts, to give that Rishikesh vibe. So that's how we have. So it's for us, it's an art. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just it's not just a table with flowers. It's about
Yeah.
like, how we are making people. They were all foreigners. They don't know what Rishikesh is. They don't know what Rudraksh is. It's just like, placing them together nicely aesthetically and like, making people aware of it. Okay, this is
Yeah.
something which is happening in India, and it's a way that we worship God, or like, something like that. So that's the whole
Yeah.
idea behind the decor, that we want. It should not be just decor. It should be a storytelling process for us,
Yeah.
that it's giving a story about the couple or the place or the venue, this and that. But yeah, that's the whole idea.
And I also feel like it's kind of like touching on people's different senses, right? Like the smell,
Yeah.
sight, feel.
Yeah.
There's so much that you can use to create and enable a person to feel a certain way at a certain
Yeah.
occasion that I feel
Yeah.
makes and breaks the whole experience, Like
Yeah.
there are obviously, and also create certain energies in certain areas. And I feel that fully because like I feel when you go into certain homes or into certain spaces, you feel a certain way when there's something. It could be this as simple as the scent or the sound that's playing, or the space, the way it's designed, aesthetically. I don't know. Like I feel like there's so much that you can do with a space, and I love the idea that you're creating experiences, through these various ways as an
Yeah.
art form, because there's so much of an impact you can have with guests that are attending these events, right? Like there's
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
meaning that goes into the event when this is taken care of. So I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. And like, for example, at the end of it, we actually gave them like a small Ganga Jali, like, for example, to take away that sacred water and like, understand the
Yeah.
importance of it. So yeah, like, whatever we are like right now, even we are working on, we are just really trying to like, bring the local artisans, local culture to the decor, and just like, make people aware of it. Like I
Yeah.
recently went to Udaipur and I'm just like, going crazy that, okay, I want to find something really new here. It should not be
Yeah.
just flowers. It should be any art form. For example,
Yeah.
it's about the mirror work that Udaipur do, and we are trying to make something out of it. So
Yeah.
our idea is just to bring that art, like, these, like, and it's not just us, like, honestly, I really want to mention this. When a person sign up us for our wedding, it's not just going to be us who is like, here. It's like 100 people more who are part of it. It like, there are a lot of farmers, there are a lot of
Mhm.
karigars, there are a lot of artists, or like, any other person. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just we are, I'm happy, like, I'm happy that I'm doing it because I'm being able to have a team of like, 100 people all
Yeah, for
across
sure.
India and like to make one thing special for someone.
Yeah, and also kind of uplifting that local area with whatever those local crafts and techniques and what is locally available and locally grown.
Yeah.
There's so much beauty to that. There's so much
Yeah,
stories, so many stories you can tell with that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to speak with you and understand all the work that you do. If anybody can follow you, what can you tell us your handle on Instagram?
I'm at the girl with ideas.
Amazing. All right. So thank you so much. We'll be in touch.